Many people have been asking why we haven't put any videos out for the last 2 months or so. Well, in this video, we're going to tell you why. I'm Barry.
I'm Ant Cid.
This is the continuing journey of Sailing ABC.
Hello. It feels a bit weird because it's been so long.
Been so long, yeah. We haven't picked up well, we have picked a camera, but we'll tell you all about that a bit later. Right now, though, the ins and outs of why we haven't been recording. You may remember one of the videos, Christmas time.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's between Christmas and New Year.
The incident happened between Christmas and New Year, and I think we were probably a week behind real time at that point in our videos.
Yeah.
You may remember I ended up in hospital. Well, the day before that, or the night before that, I had a very strange thing happen to my brain. Normally, I'm the guy who says, right, we're going to go there, and we're going to do this, this, to get there and do it. Well, all of a sudden, I said to Ancha, something's wrong, something's not right in my head.
From my point of view, it was really worrying because I know that he'd had lots of stress building up over the previous few months, and I was wondering, is he having a nervous breakdown? You know, like what's going on? Because he was going, I was saying, well, tell me what the matter is, and he was going, I don't know what the matter is, but something's wrong, something's not right, I don't know who I am, I don't know, I can't think, and I'm like, okay, so.
And for a guy who is very much in his head 24/7 and in control of everything in his head 24/7, it was a very, very scary time for me.
Yeah.
So
just to keep going with that, because I think people might be interested.
Yeah, well, in hindsight, the long and the short of it is, that was the point in which COVID entered my body.
Although we did a lateral flow test at some point, either that day or the day after or the day after that, and it was negative. So we thought, okay, I was then thinking, well, okay, maybe it's a stress thing, you know.
So then the following night we were out at friends having dinner, and that's when the pain in my back started and crept around to the front. In fact, I've still got those pains in my back, and Ancha's currently massaging it daily to try and release the tension there.
Yeah.
And it's now nearly April.
Yeah.
No, it's the end of April.
It is.
Yeah.
As you'll know, he went to hospital, and they basically did what they could, didn't find anything serious. They did at the time say he's got fluid on the lungs, so it could be that he's had an infection recently. So I sort of kept that to one side, but it does add into us thinking now that he actually had COVID. Can I just say the other thing is I read an article that had been written about how COVID can enter through the nose and actually get into the brain, and it can affect cognitive function, it can affect your sense of self, and it can also make you very fearful. And when I read that, and I talked to my brother-in-law who's a doctor, it sounded actually very similar to what had been going on that first night. So yeah. I'll leave it back to you.
Okay, so it's been 4 months since that night, and it's really literally taken me this long to finally feel as though my head's coming right again.
Enough that he could talk to you guys.
Yeah.
And I think the other major thing that's happened with Baz is, apart from the chesty cough, which is nearly gone now.
Oh, that. Yeah, I've had this cough.
So she coughing.
So I had this cough here for the whole time. And it's just in the last couple of days, it's actually settled down enough that I can speak instead of coughing every 30 seconds.
Yeah, but the major thing as well has been his energy level has been like
I'm so
bottomed
tired.
out.
So tired.
Yeah, he's been sleeping until, well, in the early days, until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And this is the guy that gets up with the crack of dawn and the birds tweeting.
Yeah. So yeah, I wake up and get out of bed, and feel as though I haven't had any sleep at all. I just have no energy, no motivation, still have a slight lack of confidence.
Vertigo.
Oh, vertigo, yeah.
Okay, he always had a bit of a thing with heights, but never anything that you couldn't handle. He's, you know, he's the guy that leaps like a gazelle or a goat up mountains and down mountains, and I'm the one that's kind of scrambling behind complaining because I don't like doing it.
Actually, one of the places we visited when we hired a car for a week, it's an ancient amphitheatre called Aspendos. My vertigo really kicked in there. Climbing up the steps to the top wasn't so bad, but then looking down and the thought of going down, I just thought I was going to fall down those steps.
Because I was sort of like hopped down. I'm normally the last one down, and I turned around and he's still like near the top with our two friends, and I'm like,
It's
oh, that's weird. What's going on? And then when we were driving back from Temesos,
oh yeah, that road. Oh my God.
Because Temesos is up a really high hill, and it's very
On a switchback road.
on a switchback road. And he started to go really slowly, and I went, "Are you okay?" And he went, "No." And I said, "Is that vertigo again?" And he went, "Yeah." And it's really. I mean, even you just told me. Before we started this.
The pontoons here at Finnecay Marina are concrete, solid concrete pontoons. They're not going anywhere, and they're fairly wide. But every time I get off the back of the boat and just walk to the end of the pontoon, in my mind, I'm saying, "You're going to fall in. You're going to slip. You're going to tumble. You're going to fall in." That's not normal. You know, it's very strange. But anyway.
So it's been a long haul, and
yeah.
I mean, you know, for my part, because I know last time we talked about when Barry was in hospital and he did the talking, and people said we would have liked to have heard Ancha's point of view. So just my point of view, I've been concerned. It's frustrating that I haven't been able to do anything. Seeing how long it's been going on, I've been concerned because you don't know how long it's going to go on for, you know. And I mean, we've talked about, okay, so when are we going to go out sailing? And you're not there yet, are you?
No, haven't got the confidence. Yeah. So anyway, that's the explanation. And you know, if you have had and had similar sort of
issues,
yeah. Let us know in the comment section.
Yeah.
You know, this stuff needs to be talked about.
Yeah, I mean, I had it just, a month or something ago. I had it very briefly. I didn't even have a temperature. Everybody on the pontoon had, you know, been getting it. And I had a cough, which I still have a bit of a cough, but it's sort of like nothing. But I lost my sense of taste and smell for 3 days, which was the worst thing for me. But thankfully it came back, and then I hated the taste of wine. I kept buying different bottles of wine going, "Oh, that's horrible. I've been buying more and more expensive bottles of wine. It's like, I've got to stop," because I realised it was probably just the whole taste bud thing.
Of course, I took one for the team and emptied the bottle.
He did, you know,
yeah.
Like he's good like that. He hasn't lost all of his functions, so that's really good. Thankfully, I like wine again, so that's good. Or is it? I don't know. So, yeah.
Anyway, enjoy the rest of the video as we take you to
somewhere,
some of those spectacular ancient sites in Turkey.
Do you remember this place? Do you remember when we came here in the rain? Well, we're back now because it's sunny. So we're going to show you around. So here we are. It's sunny today, so we thought we'd come back. Now we've got a car.
totally different, isn't it?
Yeah, and we're with Ant Cid from SV Impavidus.
She said it right.
She did. She's been practicing.
Because I know my Latin. All right, let's take you around
Check out this
Aspendos.
amphitheatre.
Yeah. This behind me is the intact, flat portion of the amphitheatre, and I've never seen one that's so well preserved. So I'm really looking forward to going in and having a look at it from the other side.
Got our museum cards ready. I guess that draws a line under the drone option. Okay, well, apparently Aspendos is the best preserved ancient theatre in the world, and it was built between 160 and 180 AD. Wow! Now that is impressive. I've climbed to the top level of the amphitheatre, and there's this kind of like covered walkway that goes all around the semicircle. Maybe they had people selling things here, like food and such. But it really is quite impressive. A little bit out of breath, it's a bit of a climb. You can see where they've repaired bits and pieces. But they've kept true to the original designs.
So you can do it, love. You're nearly there.
It's really weird. Obviously, this kind of rock, I suppose you'd call it, was the original build. And at some point it's fallen over, or parts of it have fallen over, and it's been rebuilt using a totally different technique with rocks from unknown origins.
There's still some original plasterwork on the bottom.
Yeah, big bit there.
It's
Yeah,
like sort of composite stone, isn't it? Like
yeah, it's
river
really weird.
stone squashed into mud.
Yeah, so this is what they've used to build it, which is stones that are all stuck together,
Here's some
naturally stuck together.
some I've prepared earlier.
Yeah,
See?
really weird. If anyone is a geologist and can tell us what type of rock formation this is, leave a comment. This is the Agora, or basically the shopping centre, and these are individual little shops, and you can see the holes in the wall there. That was where the wooden beams would go in, and the shopkeeper would have a shop downstairs and maybe live upstairs because you don't want to be far from your shop. It's a big construction. Unfortunately, there's not a lot intact, but you can use your imagination and see how it was in its heyday. That's pretty much all that remains of the aqueduct. So imagine the amount of work that's gone into creating an aqueduct. So there must have been a very serious consideration that, hey, we've got to have a big population here, we're going to be here for a long time, let's construct that.
So what are we, Barry? 200 metres up, I guess?
Yeah, probably about 200, yeah.
It would be nice to try and get the drone out, but I think it's too windy.
Yeah, the gusts are too much.
Yeah.
There's a big block, big chunk of the building material. So I'm guessing at some point this must have been the riverbed.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the same type of mudstone, isn't it?
Yeah. So they didn't have to go far to get it, it was just lying around. So at some point, this was an ancient river.
What a fantastic day out. Brilliant. Oh, I know we're a sailing channel, but
No, we're travelling
we're
channels.
travelling channels, that's what we are. People wouldn't see this, you know, if it wasn't for us, would they?
Nope.
In real life.
Yeah. Well, we get a lot of comments. People say, oh, I love it when you go to the ancient sites and we get to see things that we probably never get to visit. So, yeah, I think a lot of people appreciate us show him the stuff.
Yeah, and what we both believe in is kind of keeping it real. Remember the video you did where you were going into Cass and you weren't happy with the Marineros and the line, and I know you took a lot of flack over that.
I did,
but
yeah.
but that's real. That's how it really is.
What life is like sometimes. Yeah.
Oh look, and it goes off into the distance.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to try.
Where you've got that there.
Yeah.
And then there's another bit further up.
And that house is built right.
Yeah, in the middle.
It's probably
where
built
it was.
of bits of. So what we're saying is this is the aquifer here, and it actually goes past this house over into the distance, right to the other side of the valley.
Wow. All built out of the same rock. It's quite interesting when they've built these columns and then done the first arch. It's all of the same stone, but then when you get to the second arch up there, it looks as though it's all made out of thin bricks made out of clay. I'm guessing that's just for the fact that, well, these bricks get a bit heavy at some point. I don't know, I'm just guessing, because we can see up here these are the same bricks all the way. Unless, of course, it was damaged and they've rebuilt it using a different style. But it's absolutely amazing.